World Champions of Baseball.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Now entering the game for Philly Pressbox Radio, Bill Furman and Jim Chet Chesko.
It's Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Happy 9th birthday to my granddaughter, Ani Furman. That's the most important part of this show. Welcome to the Philly Pressbox Radio Roundtable, brought to you by the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, PA, Cavs, Philly Tailgates, and the STT Sports Network. I'm Bill Furman. I'll be your host tonight, along with my partner, Jim Chet Chesko. Chet, it was a big bye weekend for the Eagles, with all NFL East teams losing. I'll get it. Along with some other top teams. And yes, there was activity in the trade front we'll certainly talk about. Major League Baseball free agency has opened up. There's a long list of Phillies on that list. We'll talk about that. Let those games begin. The Flyers had a rough weekend, losing both home games before going to Montreal last night and pulling out a nice win. And your Philadelphia 76ers have opened the season 5-2 after last night's game that got away from them, we'll say, in Chicago. We have plenty to talk about in Philly sports.
We do indeed, Bill, as always. Yeah, the Flyers blew a big lead, but they did recover, winning it in your favorite way, the shootout. You love the shootout. We'll talk about that later.
I do.
If you know, folks. The Sixers, man, just a heartbreaking defeat last night to a Bulls team that came back from 24 down in the second quarter. It was like 15 or 16 going into the fourth quarter. Sixers went cold. We'll talk about that as well. And hey, while we're throwing out birthday wishes, happy 4th birthday to Phil Stifles, trending in the AM show, our partner at the STT Sports Network.
There you go. Well, hey, we have a great guest returning tonight, and lifelong Eagles and Phillies fan and co-author of the book Ring the Bell, among other books. Kevin Reavy will be joining us.
Yeah, Kevin's ready to roll. We had him on 4 months ago to talk about his new book, which had just come out a week or two before that. Had such a good time. We wanted him to get back on with us this fall, and so we're doing that right now. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's welcome Kevin Reavy back to Philly Pressbox Radio.
Up,
Kevin, what's up?
What's
happening?
Kevin,
great to see you, my man. Well, like I said, we talked Phillies pretty much the entire time we had you on last time, but we're going to talk Eagles first of all this time around. You are a huge fan, lifelong fan, as we said, and two areas of concern this year were edge rusher and corner, and Howie Roseman, took some steps to address both those positions over the last couple of weeks. Did he do enough?
Well, before we do that, I forgot. We're doing Eagles. So I got to let me just get my uniform on here.
Man, this is a guy who's prepared, Bill.
There you go.
All right. Got to zip up.
There you go.
All right. How's that?
You
I know we did Phillies last time.
In 10 minutes, you're going to switch.
I have range. All right, we can do Eagles. Okay.
All right, Eagles, go.
All right, let's do it. All right, I got plenty of thoughts. Yeah, I love everything they did. Fans obviously want these big name pushes, but I think at the end of the day, it's proven like the track record of what they've done in the past, which is kind of like stick with what you got, trust with what you have, and kind of fill in where you have needs. It's worked in the past. I have no reason not to trust them now. So I love what they've done so far. Yeah, Jalen, if he turns out I'm not as well versed on these things as my buddy Andrew DeCecco with 97.5. He's my guy with everything Eagles. I trust him that, he's going to come in and be that edge rusher we need. He's got the talent to, maybe
Jalen Phillips. Yep.
Yeah. Jalen Phillips. Sorry. That's interesting. Actually, Jalen, the name is, I just learned an interesting fact last week. The name Jalen, Jalen, didn't exist until Jalen. Now I'm forgetting. He played with the Pacers, and what's his last name? Basketball player.
Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose. That's right. Jalen Rose. The name didn't exist before Jalen Rose.
Get out.
I learned that fact last week. The statistics in the U.S., the name Jalen before Jalen Rose didn't exist. So Jalen Hurts owes his name to Jalen Rose. But moving on. Yeah, I trust Andrew DeCecco with these kind of things. I think, he's got the talent to be the edge rusher that we're kind of missing right now. We don't need big names. What we need right now is guys that can fill in, guys to play. We need depth. That's been the Eagles' key to success in seasons past, and I think right now depth is the name of the game, and it's why you see a lot of teams falling early. The Ravens don't have it, and that's why they're in the position they're in right now.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, I think they got three quality players. They've had some issues, been banged up, some other things, but they didn't really give up anything. They gave up some lower round draft choices. So if one of them hits, it's a win.
Right, and they can afford to wait on these guys. They got guys that have injury concerns and all that, but again, when you're not really counting on them, you can afford to wait. You can plug these guys in, kind of no pressure situations. Again, didn't give up a whole lot, and when you stockpile these draft picks, you can put yourself in that kind of situation.
Hey, Kevin, you mentioned banged up injuries. What will having 2 full weeks off do for these many banged up guys, especially on the offensive line, I guess?
Yeah, I was a big believer in that loss to the Giants being on 4 days rest. I thought that had a lot to do with it. And on the other side of that, and I get it when, the Giants were in the same position, but the Giants were younger at key positions, especially running back and quarterback. So I think that played into it a little bit. You have a fresh Jackson Dart as opposed to a little bit of a weathered Jalen Hurts who, gets banged up from time to time. And, Saquon Barkley, he's no spring chicken. So I think in that specific situation, I had a lot of faith that the Eagles would bounce back. Now, same kind of deal with a lot of time off. I have no reason to believe that they'll do anything but dominate on Monday.
I am with you.
And everything we saw from the Packers, there's no reason to believe that this team. It's kind of been like that this whole season with a lot of the quote unquote best teams in the NFL. They've had their moment where they've kind of fallen. And I think you could also say the same with the Eagles, again, to the Giants. But you can look at who they've beaten too. And the Packers can't say the same. When they have a loss like they had last week, do they have the wins that kind of balance that out? I don't think they do.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to add on to that. The Packers dominate the Steelers, and then they get beat. The Steelers get dominated by the Packers, and then dominate the Colts. I mean, it's just weird week to week. You don't know who's showing up where, I think.
And that's a good example. Like the Colts, I got beat up all week on threads, actually, about I put out there. I posted about by the end of the season, I think the Eagles, I said, would have 13 wins and the Colts would have 11. And I just got killed by Colts fans. But you have to look at the schedule. At the end of the day, the Colts, despite, being touted as one of the greatest teams in the NFL, number one on the power rankings just last week, their team isn't that different than it was last season. And Danny Dimes, I've seen enough of him over the years. I'm not convinced yet. So I look at that team. I'm not ready to anoint them. So when I saw them lose last weekend, that was hugely satisfying, especially for an off week. I was a huge Steelers fan that day. So it was nice to see. So far, my prediction is looking good.
Hey, Kevin, go ahead, Bill.
No, I was going to ask you a question. I got off track there. The other question I wanted to ask you about Eagles linebackers, with Nakobe Dean back, we saw some of Dean, Bone, and Campbell all on the field at the same time. A little different look, and I like it. It's athletic.
Oh, yeah. And that's, like I just said, whenever you can get youth out there, I think that's huge. And I think having, Campbell, like you said, Dean, what he's on his year 3, I think it is. That's huge. I'm a big fan of youth, speed, power. Whenever you can get that on the field is great. And again, depth is everything. It's the name of the game. Right now, the Eagles are looking strong. The depth is incredible. I don't know why nationally it seems like the trend is to just pile on the Eagles. They're about to fall apart and collapse. I'm seeing that all over the place. I'm seeing the exact opposite. I don't know if it's more so people thinking it's their turn. We're seeing the Colts fall. The Chiefs are kind of taking a step back. Every team that seems to take their place in the hierarchy just seems to take another step back. But the Eagles have done nothing but improve. And so far on the season, despite a couple missteps, they're playing exactly the kind of football they've always played for the most part. I mean, the defense is not as great as it was last season, but we knew that coming in. As far as winning games and building the roster, they're in as great a shape as I think they were last year.
I think one reason some people think the Eagles may, have a little trouble going forward is some issues with number 11, the wide receiver, A.J. Brown. What should we expect from A.J. Brown going forward in terms of not only his mindset, but how much they're going to target him and the off the field stuff? Is that going to play a factor?
Well, I love what he said when basically, I forget what the publication was, but he was interviewed and he was honest and he said he's got this internal struggle about his own personal accomplishments and the team accomplishments. And I love the honesty of that. That makes a ton of sense. And we could all kind of relate to that. Personally, I can say, I wrote a book right here with, the great Jack Fritz.
Yes.
And just a personal anecdote, been really successful. Love what we did. It's a great accomplishment for us. Fantastic. We did a signing at the Phillies game. And of course, everyone wants a picture and a hug with Jack Fritz. And I'm just sitting there like, do you really want me in the photo? I mean, nobody exactly knows who I am. And that's okay. But at the same, your ego is going to be, poked a little bit. I'm not impervious to that. So I could somewhat relate in that situation. I have this great thing going on, but oh man, wouldn't it be cool to have someone come up and say, "Hey, I want a picture with Kevin," and have that not be my mom, So, but at the end of the day, I couldn't be happier. I'm a happy, positive guy. It's all great. Let's jump on the train, keep this thing going. It's fantastic. And I think A.J. Brown recognizes that the internal struggle, that's fine. Keep it internal. Like, make sure it doesn't affect the team and everything. It's okay to have that internal struggle as long as it doesn't explode. And I think he recognizes that, and the team recognizes that. And it's a good thing as long as it stays just like that. It doesn't, get crazy.
Bill, you got one more Eagles question, then we're going to talk baseball.
Well, the question always has to be about Jalen Hurts. Why is it with Jalen Hurts that not only does the national media beat him up pretty much every day, why does the Philadelphia media want to beat him up? And all the guy does is win and play good.
Oh yeah, and I'm one of his biggest fans. I had a bet preseason, his first full season. I put a bet in for him for MVP. I'm not a big college football guy, and when he first got his first look with the Eagles, I'm watching this guy throw the football, and I'm saying, okay, wait. I thought he couldn't throw. I thought he didn't have an arm. I thought he wasn't accurate. Then I go back and look at his stats. I never really looked at him that hard, and I'm seeing a guy that's way better than I was told. So from way back then, I'm thinking, okay, I'm totally comfortable with moving on with him and letting go of Carson Wentz. I said that way back then, and he's done nothing but prove me right. I wrote an article in the offseason. It was titled Jalen Hurts Prototype Quarterback. And there's a little bit of an exaggeration there. I think Josh Allen is more the prototype quarterback, but we're looking at quarterbacks today with a mindset of yesterday. And the reason why the Eagles keep winning is because they're thinking ahead. And drafting a guy like Jalen Hurts was thinking ahead. And it's only because the quarterback position is totally different. I'm not as concerned with a guy that throws 38 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. I want a guy, what's the total touchdowns? How's the team winning? How's he with turnovers? Just efficiently playing the quarterback position. Jalen Hurts is just one of the best at it. The quarterback position is changing. You're seeing guys like Joe Flacco kind of flourish, and you wonder why. And it's because they know how to play the position in today's game. You just have to be efficient. You have to stay on the field. Jaden Daniels, all the talent in the world, means nothing if he can't stay on the field. Jackson Dart, the third preseason game this season, he almost got a concussion. He had a quote at the end of the game. He said, "I've been told to slide when big hits are coming." And I didn't think that was going to be a big hit. And that's a red flag for me because it's not Jalen Hurts is not sliding for the big hits. He's sliding for any oncoming hit. If he has the first down, even if it's short of the first down, he sees a hit coming, he slides. So Daboll said at the end of that game, "I love his aggressiveness. I don't want to coach that out." Well, that's why Daboll is going to be out of a job. You should coach that out, actually. The aggressiveness is not great. Like, the aggressiveness is how you get a Jaden Daniels out for the season and how you will eventually have a Jackson Dart out for the season. What Jalen Hurts does, he does it so well and he stays on the field. These are qualities that Joe Burrow can't even pull off, and he's one of the greatest talents in the NFL. So how at 15 touchdowns and 1 interception, Jalen Hurts is not considered one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL is beyond me, but I guess he's got to keep winning Super Bowls.
There you go. I knew, Bill, you would like that answer.
Well, it's right. So he's 100% right. I couldn't have said that better myself.
Real quick.
I found a stat today. I took a screenshot. Okay, highest passer rating when blitzed this season. Number 1, Lamar Jackson, 136.4. Number 2, Jalen Hurts, 134.5. So under pressure, this is what I want in my quarterback. Under pressure, the pressure situations, the things that don't always show up in the stat book. Jalen Hurts, he plays the quarterback position for his team to win. If there's a stat for that, it has yet to be invented, but that's what he does best.
All right, Kevin, Phillies time. Change your look.
Yeah. All right, we're back.
All right, change the background already. you changed. We're talking Phillies. First things first. What did you make of Dave Dombrowski's comments about Harper? Maybe not being elite anymore, and Bryce's reaction to it. Is that going to be an issue going forward?
It was such a nothing comment. I posted, I think, on Facebook and Threads. I said, we have to decide if we want cookie cutter answers that mean nothing, or if we want the most basic honesty there could possibly be. That was such an honest answer. Oh yeah, a guy in his 30s who's played over a decade in the league, who plays extremely hard, might not be at the top of his game from here on out. Right. You might not be able to count on him being a monster superstar anymore. I think Harper would say the same thing about himself. I don't think he took offense to that. I don't think Phillies fans should take offense to that, because that's what everyone's saying amongst themselves anyway. So I had no problem with what he said. As far as motivation goes for Harper, I don't even think there was any thought behind it for Dombrowski. It wasn't him trying to light a fire under him at all. It was just him being a little bit honest. It was such a nothing comment that became a huge blown up story. I hated it because it was just obvious.
Well, Kevin, backing up to the playoffs, and the Phillies go toe to toe with the Dodgers. They weren't far off from being able to win that series, and we see the Dodgers go on to a great World Series with the Blue Jays on both ends. Is that a good measuring stick of where this Phillies team is, or is that all gone? We got all these players in free agency, and we got to start over.
Well, no, I've been saying all season that the Phillies are way better than people realize, because sometimes I think in Philadelphia, fans tend to measure the team today against the teams of the past. And there's no way in today's baseball, in today's game, you can measure their offense. It just doesn't happen. You don't have a Jason Worth, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins kind of situation these days. If you had that offense now, forget it. The World Series would be locked up. It's a different thing. You look around, I think it was the Pirates. If you put, I forget if it was Edmundo Sosa. I think if you put him on the Pirates, he would be their second best hitter as far as OPS. So, there's teams all over the league that you want the Phillies, is my point. You want the Phillies offense. You think that the Phillies offense is their, downside. It's not. They're actually not bad at all. They need a few pieces. And me personally, I tried to find the quote, couldn't find it. I saw it randomly on TV about a week or two ago. Larry Bowe was talking about speed. And I think we're about to see a new revolution in baseball. I could be wrong, but if I was running a team right now, I'm moving away from home runs and getting obsessed with bat speed and power and all that. I want speed. It's so clear to me in baseball right now that speed would kill. You need to put the ball in play. The Phillies are having a big problem putting the ball in play. A guy like Steven Kwan, they could trade for. He strikes out about 50 times a year. He's not right now. I think on the season he batted 271. I think he could win a batting title. He's a guy you can get on the cheap because he ended the season 271. He was an all-star. His OPS was around 701. But this is a guy, old school baseball. You get him on base, he'll score 100 runs. He's speedy, plays great defense. Plug him in. Just get speed all over the place. Justin Crawford, get him in there. He's got a lot of speed. Got to move away from Castellanos. I would love to see Schwarber re-sign, keep him at DH. But other than that, get speed anywhere you possibly can. And I promise you, that's going to be a new revolution in baseball because it'll change everything.
Well, Kevin, you just mentioned one of the guys I wanted to ask you about, and that is Justin Crawford. I know you've been touting him all summer. Is he going to be the starting left fielder? He's certainly not a power hitter. He does have speed, so I'm guessing you like this guy a lot.
Yeah, and I think the worst thing for him towards the end of the season, he started to hit some home runs, and it's just I hope they're not coaching him to do that, if or coaching him to be somebody that he's not. Again, I think the game is changing, and it should be changing towards speed because it's just so obvious once we get to the postseason. All these teams with these great power hitters, you could even look at the Dodgers with Ohtani. The Phillies completely shut him down. Now, when he gets hot, he's fantastic, but he can go into these huge slumps. I want to see a team built on speed and putting the ball in play and see what can happen. And I think that's kind of a slump buster as far as the whole team is considered. Get a bunch of guys. Justin Crawford fits that mold. Now, a bunch of stat guys. I wrote a baseball stat book, but I'm not as heavy on stats as other people are. So when you tell me the ground ball rate and, how Justin Crawford elevates the ball and his bat speed, all this, the guy bat over 330 in AAA. And all he's done is bat over 325 for his entire career, over 1,000 at bats in minor league baseball. I'm sorry. In my entire life, that's a good hitter. And I can't think of one guy in my entire life who that doesn't end up being a good hitter, whose dad was a great player for God knows how many years, who debuted at 20 years of age. And we're still waiting on Justin Crawford, who's going to be, I guess, 22 or 23 when he finally gets his chance. This is a guy that could have made a difference last season. It's unfortunate, the kind of guy that could have been a spark plug and they never gave him a shot. But now it's time. And now it's time to change the entire team. Again, hate to harp on it, but get speed on the team, put the ball in play. And I think the offense could be a whole lot better than last season.
Well, Kevin, I don't know if these numbers are exactly right, but one of the things I read said that the Kyle Schwarber camp is looking at 6 years, $160 million. If that's the offer that comes to me and I'm running the Phillies, I got to let him walk. And I want him to stay.
I don't necessarily disagree. And that's one of the things, again, if I was running the team and I really believe in this philosophy, if this is my new money ball, if I'm now more focused on speed and that's going to be my major focus point, I got to let Schwarber go for that money. You're going to need power somewhere. So, ideally you'd have a guy that, like a Mookie Betts type in his prime with speed and power and puts the ball in play, hits for average, all those things. That's ideal. You're not going to get that. But I don't have a problem with a guy like Schwarber who's a little bit slower, and you can't have the speediest guys at every position. But even though there's no salary cap, there is internally. For each team, they have a number that they don't really feel comfortable going over, and that can be an issue. Unless the Phillies think that there's going to be, I guess, what do they call it, a strike or a lockout? I never know the difference between the two in 2027, and they're just going to go for it in 2026, then you might as well just go for it and give Schwarber what he wants. He means a lot to the team as far as, he's kind of taken over being the face of the team a little bit from Bryce Harper. And I think he takes a little bit of, it makes it easier on Harper that there is another face to the franchise. So in that sense, if you're not going to sign Schwarber, you got to find somebody else. And that gets difficult. I mean, I think Schwarber, at least if you give him his number, he's coming back. So it might be a tough pill to swallow. I don't know which way I'd go. If that's the number, when it's all said and done, how do I say no? But if I'm sticking to my philosophy, I got to say no, and I'm just finding speed to replace him.
Kevin, we've completely used up all our time, but I got a couple of more questions. So let's do it this way. We're going to play Fast Five. I'm going to hit you with 5 questions. You got 10 seconds to answer.
I'll try not to
each
ramble.
one. All right, here we go. Number 1, Zach Wheeler, hopefully back in the spring. Will he be a dominating pitcher again for the Phillies?
100%. Yes, I believe it. He's well, I don't know anything about his recovery, but yes, I trust him.
Number 2, Andrew Painter. We continue to wait for him to develop to be, a major league pitcher. They're hoping to have him in the spring and get a good look at him. Will Andrew Painter be a starter on the 2026 Phillies?
100%, because I think the plan was always to have him replace Suarez. But I'm very worried because I thought Painter was going to be a whole lot better last season, and he's proving me very, very wrong so far.
Number 3, is it possible that Bryce Harper will again play right field for the Phillies at some point?
Yeah, because I love the opportunity to potentially bring back Rhys Hoskins, and not necessarily as an everyday first baseman. People are saying, is Rhys Hoskins going to be the guy that replaces Kyle Schwarber? Rhys Hoskins can be the outfield version of Edmundo Sosa. Give Bryce break at first, or maybe they could switch. Rhys can play outfield, Bryce can play outfield too.
Number 4, my partner Bill's not a huge Rob Thompson fan. Can the Phillies win a World Series under Rob Thompson?
Absolutely, because I believe in keeping cohesion in the clubhouse. And let's be honest, a manager of a baseball team, not that important when it all comes down to it. It's the least important of the 4 major sports. I like the fact that the players like him, and that's the most important thing.
Number 5, regarding the free agents. I know you want Kyle Schwarber back. Should the Phillies bring back JT Realmuto if it's going to be 3 years or longer in terms of contract?
No. And I was against signing him the last time. I was wrong that time. Hey, if catchers could play forever, let's just sign Pudge Rodriguez. Let's see what Chooch is up to right now. Obviously, catchers hit the end. Do you want to be on the right side of that or the wrong side of that? The reason the Patriots won for so many years, they made the right moves at the unpopular time. And that's what I think the Phillies had to do. Let Realmuto go. There's interesting options elsewhere.
All right.
There you go. Hey, Kevin, you have your books. Tell us about that before we let you go. And you have a new book coming out, right?
Yeah, we got still Ring the Bell. Doing a Christmas push soon for that. We'll be selling signed copies on ringthebellbook.com. And I think, found out today, I'm going to be teaming up again with Ryan Spader, the greatest baseball stat mind on the entire planet. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be doing a new book. We did Incredible Baseball Stats, volumes 1 and 2. The last one came out in 2019, and we said, we could do it again, or we could do a more interesting thing. And we decided we're just going to fill it with the craziest stats and trivia and information we possibly can to blow people's mind about the history of baseball and all the teams, Phillies, just across the board. Title not yet determined, but something along the lines of Incredible Baseball Trivia. Not incredibly creative, but I think within the book, it's going to be super creative, interesting stats and fun facts. And, what I'm kind of famous for at this point is the coffee table book, or as Glenn Macnow has done for me in the past, he's put my books in his bathroom. And that's, the highest of compliments. That's where we want to be. That's a fun spot. So I think this is going to be the perfect book for that. And, we're going to be working on that fast. That'll be out in April, I think. So We're going to be, it's a very fast turnaround. So we're going to be working hard on that.
Fantastic.
All right. And just to be clear, that was ringthebellbooks.com.
Ringthebellbook.com.
Book.com.
No S on the end. Yep.
So anybody wants to get that for Christmas, There you go. You'll get your signed copy. Jump on there. Kevin, appreciate you joining us, and let's do it again.
Thanks for having me. Fun as always. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
my man.
See you, Kevin.
All right, Chet, Philly Pressbox Radio is part of the STT Sports Network, as in Set the Trends. It's a network set up by our pal Phil Stiefel, host of the terrific Trending in the AM show that you can find every weekday morning on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel. Check out Phil. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Phil's show is on there, and yes, so is ours. Yep, you can find Philly Pressbox Radio there in addition to our own YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. Again, it's the STT Sports Network setting the trend for what sports talk should be. Hey, Chet, November is here. We're pulling up on Thanksgiving. What's going on at the Irish Rover Station House?
Oh, what a great fall it is at the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. They have terrific food. They always have 24 beers on tap. The Rover has trivia every Wednesday at 7 while we're doing our show. Killer Burger Thursdays, dinner specials Thursday through Sunday, and music most weekends. This Saturday, the tunes courtesy Oliver Daggum. Yeah, it's all happening at the Rover. Oh, by the way, next week, I'm going to start talking about one of my favorite Rover events, the Ugly Sweater Holiday Party. They have a date for it. I'm going to tell you that next week. If you haven't yet been there, check this place out, the Irish Rover Station House. It's on Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne and on the web at irishroverstationhouse.com.
Hi, this is Ray Dinger, and it is always fun to talk sports with these two guys, Bill and Chet, on Philly Pressbox Radio.
Hey, Chet, just a couple things from our conversation with Kevin. No on Reese Hoskins. Nah.
Oh, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
I'm not for that.
If we had more time, I would have challenged him on that one for sure.
Yeah. The other thing I really think is interesting and worth pointing out for anybody that stayed up and actually watched the World Series because there were some late games, Dave Roberts did a heck of a job.
Yeah.
Managers
really
don't matter. He made some moves that won that World Series for them.
He knew when to
Rojas
keep the pitchers in, when to take the pitchers out. Yakamoto, who started Game 6, finished Game 7 with a couple of innings plus. So, yeah, he did a great job.
Well, he put Rojas in, who hit a home run, and then made a defensive play. He put the center fielder in, who climbed up the left field wall over his left fielder and made a
play.
And they were all in-game moves that he made, and I think Dave Roberts deserves a lot of credit for that. I'm not a Dodger fan or a Dave Roberts fan, but hey, it was there. It was there to be seen.
Yeah, great job.
All right, hey, the Flyers, they had a reality check over the weekend, losing both games on home ice, but a nice bounce-back win in Montreal last night. Started out with a 3-0 lead, then we're behind 4-3, then tied it and won it on a shootout. They're now 7-5-1 to open the season.
As you know, I don't watch full hockey games till January or February, just kind of my annual tradition. But yeah, I did check it out last night, turned it on when it was 3-0. I said, Flyers are on their way tonight. About 45 minutes later, I turned it back on, late second period. They're down 4-3. As you said, they did tie it up. They won it in a shootout. That's the third one this season, Bill. I know you hate it, but they're doing so well at it. So 7-5-1, 15 points, which, by the way, has them right now as one of the final 2 Eastern Conference wildcard teams, but still a long way to go, obviously. But what is your take on how they're playing so far under Rick Tocchet?
Well, they're playing with energy most nights. That's one of those games over the weekend. They were a little flat. They got beat, but they play with a lot of energy. Trevor Zegras has been just a spark so far. He's got 15 points in 13 games. He's played really well. The defense is playing a lot better. And interestingly enough, they had like 19 shots on goal one night, and they kind of got beat up for that, not having enough offense. And last night they were closer to 40 shots. So message was heard. They came out firing the puck, and you're not going to score if you don't shoot, right?
That is true. That is true. And Sam Ersson still out. Alexei Kolosov, the backup goalie, getting some playing time. Not so sure about him. Do we have a timetable for when Ersson will be back?
No, it was kind of a mystery injury even. We don't know that he got hurt or how he got hurt or whatever, but the Flyers keep all that stuff real close to the vest. So no update on him right yet. The other thing early on, it being kind of successful, but just one goal from Matvei Michkov so far.
Yeah.
He's got a handful of assists, 5 or 6 assists, but just one goal, and they're still playing pretty well. If he fires up, gets hot, they'll certainly need him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he will get it going. I'm confident. They said he wasn't in the best of game shape just yet to start the season, but we know he's got a lot of talent. I'm not too worried about him. Flyers upcoming schedule at Nashville Thursday evening, then home Saturday afternoon against Ottawa.
Yeah. And Bobby Brink, another one playing pretty well
Couple
too.
Goals Tuesday night.
Yeah, a couple goals. So yeah, they've got some guys stepping up. Forster got hurt. He's out. Don't know how long that's going to be, but he was playing well and scoring some goals too. They'll need him back.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Hey, Chet, what could be better than Eagles tailgating with the best tailgaters in Philadelphia? Bob Cavanaugh and the gang at Cavs Philly Tailgates.
Cavs Philly Tailgates has been cooking up a terrific catering business for some 35 years now. There's Cav. Still looks like a young guy, but he's been at it for a long time, does a great job. Cavs is a 3-time winner of Philly Tailgate's Jack Daniels Great American Tailgate Party Contest and a past winner of the Philly Daily News Tailgate Award. Cavs also does corporate events, parties, you name it. Of course, Cav hosts tailgates before all Eagles games outside the link. So, yeah, there will be tailgate parties before November games against the Lions. That is a week from this Sunday. And the Bears later in the month. Get details on all events at Cavs' website, phillytailgates.com. And if you have any questions, you can email them at cavscatering@verizon.net. Cavs Philly Tailgates is the way to go.
Hey, Chet.
Yeah.
How about your Philadelphia 76ers? 3-0 to start the season, lost at home to Boston by 1. They come back. They win 2 out of the next 3. Should have won last night. Solid start for this team, but something interesting, and you probably watched this. I didn't because I was watching the Flyers.
Yeah.
But I read a lot about how they evolved into the Joel Embiid offense late in the game that slowed the game down for them high-flying Sixers. What say you?
Yeah, it's all true. Our pal Freddie Burns commented about that on Facebook today. It wasn't pretty over the last 6 minutes or so of the game. First of all, I think the whole team was somehow winded. They put up 75 points in the first half, only 36 in the second half. Embiid got his numbers, certainly. 25 and a half minutes, he scored 20 points. But yeah, over those last 5 or 6 minutes, he was in there. He was a +1 for the game. But yeah, over the last 5 or 6 minutes, they just like kind of slowed it down into a 2-man team, him and Maxey primarily. And the team in general, 0 for 11 over the last 6 minutes, didn't make a single field goal. Chicago led one time the entire game. The only time that it mattered, 3.2 seconds left. They hit the 3-pointer to take the lead, won the game by a bucket. So, yeah, there is something to it. Some people are saying Embiid should not be out there, in clutch time. And there may be something to it, at least until he is in full game shape. He just doesn't have the lateral movement that he used to because of all the knee problems that he's had. He can still score. He can still shoot. Didn't shoot well last night. He was like 4 for 15 or something god awful. Made his free throws, certainly. But, even Maxey, who started off so great, finished with 39 points, his shots were coming up a little bit short in the end. They were winded. They're playing Cleveland tonight. They flew to Cleveland. They're losing by, 13 or something, our pal Bob said. I don't see it going well tonight. So, Embiid is something to keep an eye on right now, how he exactly fits in with this high-flying, otherwise Sixers team.
Well, I think I said this, was it last week we were talking about it or the week before when I said, the biggest concern I have with Embiid or with the Sixers is him not fitting into the flow.
Yeah,
and
because they can run otherwise.
They can run, and they've got a lot of young guys, and they got 2 guards that can play. And you can't have a guy that's an anchor out there. And if they're going to change the whole offense when he's in the game for him, that's a problem.
Yeah. So Nick Nurse has to figure that out. And it ain't easy because, he still is a talented guy, but the knees just aren't what they used to be. Maxey getting a lot of minutes. I think he's still leading the league in minutes played, over 40 a game maybe. He had 39 and a half minutes last night. Edgecombe is up there also. I know these guys are young, but still, it wears on you over time. It is good to have Jared McCain back. Not a great debut last night. He played, I think, 15 minutes, shot 0 for 4, but he'll be fine once, he gets into game shape and gets his shot back. So, as I said last week, it's going to be very interesting to see how they fit all those guys, Maxey, Edgecombe, McCain, and Grimes, all of whom are true guards, how they're all going to get playing time. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and what happened to Bona? He's kind of slowed down. We're not seeing a whole lot more of him. I think he's averaging what I looked it up earlier today, like 16 minutes a game. Yeah,
he wasn't a factor at all last night. I don't know how much he played. Drummond didn't play at all last night, but I like Bona. He can certainly come in and give you the defensive presence. So I do want to see Bona get a little more time, but keep an eye on the Embiid situation, Bill. Sixers off to a good start. The schedule always got to get tougher, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll continue to play well, and it's always about Joel. They're going to, in this case, maybe they're better without him. As we keep last year, we always wanted him to be back. Maybe this year we don't quite want him to be back with what they got going on.
Bill, speaking of schedules, when I worked my radio job over the last 6 years until my retirement last year, I was the afternoon guy at this radio network that I worked for. So I worked like 11:30 in the morning till 7 at night. Nice, easy schedule. The shift was great. Well, they desperately needed me to come back and get some more hours because the guy who replaced me ended up giving his resignation in mid-August. So I've been back there a few times working the afternoon shift, but they also needed me to fill in a couple of mornings late next week. The entire 6 years that I was there, I never worked the morning shift, which is kind of a different animal. There's a lot more work involved, a much earlier start. Obviously, it's the morning show. They do a 2-hour show from 5 to 7 and the news guy, me in this case, has to come in and do several updates of general news, business news, you name it, plus the regular twice hourly Your Money Now newscasts. Well, I kind of fought it, didn't want to do it, but they convinced me to do it. So I had to go in this past Monday and Tuesday to train. Had to be there 3:30 in the morning. You know how tough it is for a retired guy who used to staying up till midnight to change everything and get to work at 3:30? I tried to go to bed at 8 o'clock, couldn't sleep. The first night, I got three and a half hours sleep. The second night, I am not kidding, I got 1.5 hours sleep. I slept from like 9 to 10, woke up, couldn't get back to sleep. Then I slept like a half hour, right before the alarm goes off, of course. So Monday and Tuesday were kind of rough. And then I got to go back and do the real thing where I do the whole shift, the news end of it myself. Not looking forward to that, Bill.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you. My alarm goes off at 5:20 in the morning every day. So yeah. I feel for you. It's not all that great.
No, the alarm going off like 2:20, not a pleasant thing.
No. Well, anyway. they must have made it right, or you wouldn't have gone back.
Yeah, they twisted my arm.
Well, and the truth of it, Chet, if you were any good at your weekly picks, you could actually bet them and you could make some money. Yeah. So let's get to what happened with our weekly picks. How did Boop, Bob Patrone Jr., and me do this week? I got a feeling it wasn't good for me again. Yeah, time for me to wake up.
You're in a little slump, Bill. Let me see if I can find the standings right here. Philly Pick'em League. There we go, right there. Yeah, you had a 3-2 week. So did Boop. I went 4-1, so I'm making a move there, Bill. I have tied Boop for the top spot. You, who were leading a couple of weeks ago, now in the bottom spot. The good news for you, Bill, only one game back. So very, very tight. We're at the midway point of the season. 9 weeks down, 9 to go. It is anybody's game to win.
Oh, there's plenty of time to go.
Yep.
All right, so let's get to our picks. Just to clarify for anybody that's new that's watching this, we make 5 picks every week. We pick all the NFC East teams. We always pick the Sunday night football game, and we throw in any additional games as needed so that we could get to 5 in case of buys like this week. where those lousy Dallas Cowboys are off.
Boy, do they
this week's
stink.
games, boy, they do stink. Giants at the Bears. Bears -3.5. Bears play a pretty good ball, Chet.
Yeah, they are. And I'm just opening Boop's picks now, so it's a surprise to me to see what he says. Boop says Chicago is coming off your typical 47-42 last-second victory in a game with 7 lead changes over the last 3 quarters. No letdown here. Bears over the Giants. Yeah, how can anybody pick the Giants right now? I'm taking Chicago as well.
I'm taking Chicago as well. Lions got beat by the Vikings. How did that happen?
Crazy.
And they're playing the Commies, and the Commies lost Jaden Daniels probably for the season. They're old and they're banged up. Lions -9.5.
Yeah, no surprise here. Boop says injuries are a part of sport, but Washington got hit with a month's worth in one game. His pick is the Lions. How anybody could pick against Detroit in this one, you'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I thought last week when I picked them to beat the Vikings.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Lions. Steelers coming off that big win we talked about with the Colts. They're at the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. The Chargers are -2.5.
Ooh, we got a different one here, Bill. Boop says Pittsburgh forced 6 turnovers in Sunday's win over the Titans. The Packers, 5, and Jets, 1, have combined to force 6 turnovers all season. Boop's pick is the Steelers. I, however, am taking the home team, the LA Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers too, because those 6 turnovers, I watched that game, led to most of the Steelers' points. The Steelers' offense didn't really do anything. They had short fields all day because of a very good defense that they played. All right, our add-on game. Who would have thought the New England Patriots at the Buccaneers? The Bucs are just -2.5. A lot of injuries in Tampa Bay right now.
Yep. Boop says New England on the road, 2-7 in 2024, 4-0 in 2025. Boop's pick is the Patriots. I know Tampa Bay is banged up. I'm taking them. They're at home. I'm taking the Bucs.
Well, I hate that you are because I am too. But I know they are banged up. They're coming off their bye week as well. So I'm taking Tampa Bay. That brings us to Monday Night Football, Chet. Eagles at Green Bay, and you will be in attendance.
How about that?
Packers, 2.5-point favorites.
All right. Boop says the Birds' bye week is behind them, and so are most of their losses. Boop is picking the Eagles. Bill, I'm not looking forward to the 30-degree weather that it's going to be at game time. It's a Monday night game. I'll be there. Afternoon high 38, which means probably about 30 at game time. Not looking forward to that. I don't like being cold, Bill, but I'll be happy if the Eagles win, and I am predicting an Eagles victory.
I am predicting an Eagles victory too because I haven't thought the Packers were that good all season. So I'm going with the Eagles coming off the bye, hopefully as healthy as they've been for a while, and I think they're going to play well on Monday Night Football.
All right.
All right, next up, margin of victory pool. That comes back to the stinking Lions.
Yep.
What are our standings now after week 9, Chet?
Well, Boop still firmly in first place. He picked up 7 more points last week. I took the Rams last week, and they won easily over the stinking Saints, so I picked up 24 points. Yeah, as you said, you're down for the second straight week, Bill. 0 points, 2 losses, so Boop still with a big lead, and you are now in last place in the margin of victory pool, Bill. So tough one. You got to pick, a different team this week than you picked in the previous 9 weeks. So let's see what Boop has to say about that. Boop's pick is the Panthers over the Saints. Who would have thought anybody would pick the Panthers? But yeah, the Saints stink. So I'm trying to get rid of this screen right now. And there we go. Okay, yeah. Boop,
well, I'll just go ahead and say it because I took the Panthers too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I thought about it. I sincerely thought about it, but I'm taking the team that you follow pretty closely, the Indianapolis Colts over Atlanta.
In Berlin.
Oh, that's in Berlin, eh?
Yeah, that's the early game Sunday, so check that out.
So is your son over in Berlin, or will he be?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
They leave tomorrow. Yep, they fly tomorrow. This was a game we actually, my wife and I, Mary and I, thought about going to. We gave it a lot of thought to go over there and try to spend 7 or so days and have a little vacation and tie into the game and do that. And then we talked ourselves out of it because we weren't thinking we really wanted to go on vacation to Berlin.
Okay.
Not New Jersey, but
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to go there either.
I was in Berlin, New Jersey last week hanging out with Jackie Bam Bam. How about that on Sunday?
Oh, there you go. There you go. So, hey, we had a great guest tonight at Kevin Reavy. Who's coming to Philly Pressbox Radio next week?
Well, next week, Bill, we will have the return of a former pro football tight end who's been with us several times over the years. He played a bit for the Eagles and then the old Philadelphia and Baltimore Stars, talking, of course, about Ken Dunnick joining us to talk Eagles and football in general. Just a great guy. And we will also, Bill, have a visit from Lou Bryson. Yes, Lou Bryson, who writes about whiskey and beer, and he is the co-host of What's Brewing with Glenn Mack now on his weekly show on NBC Sports Philadelphia. So a little beer and whiskey talk with Lou Bryson plus football talk with Ken Dunnick next week.
What could be better, right? Football and beer.
Speaking
next,
of beer,
we'll be talking about turkeys, right?
Yeah, won't be long. Won't be long.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Hey, Chet. Well, I got a couple things because we got a couple minutes.
Okay.
Let's talk for a minute about Cam Little. Cam Little of the Jacksonville Jaguars kicked a 68-yard stinking field goal to set the new NFL record. And if you watch that, it would have probably been good from 75. What are we going to see?
Well, we got Malloy calling me a sissy because I don't like cold weather, but that's a whole nother thing. Get out of here, Malloy. You know, the funny thing is, last Sunday morning, I was listening to Al Morganti and his show on Sunday morning on WIP, and he was talking about field goal kickers, and he was saying how before long, field goal kickers will be kicking 65 and 78 yarders pretty regularly. He said, I'm telling you, just watch for it. And later that day, we get a 68-yard field goal. So, yeah, he's not wrong.
And the very next day, Monday Night Football, the Dallas kicker had an opportunity to also kick a 68-yarder. He kicked it wide, but he had plenty of leg. So, yeah, 68 isn't going to last. Now, you know this. I think you know this. And I don't really know the details of it, but you know they're doing something with the footballs this year different for kickers.
Yeah, they can pick their own footballs, right?
And practice with them all week and do all that weird stuff kickers do with footballs. And now they're, heck, it's probably 8 to 10 yards difference on most kicks. I mean, you're seeing 58, 60, 62 yarders.
Yeah.
Regularly. It's a big difference. Now, the downside is you got to have the right situation to do it because, like in that Dallas game, he misses.
Yeah.
If there's time left on the clock, the other team's already in field goal range.
Great field goal was
going the other way. So it's almost has to be either a game-winning situation or the end of a half with no time left.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, another topic I have for you. We skipped this last week. What make you of this NBA gambling situation?
Yeah, I didn't hear a whole lot of it more since last week, but
they're burying it. It sounds like they're trying to bury that. I don't know.
I didn't hear much news since last week, so I don't know what's going on with it as far as the penalties, beyond what they first announced or how extensive it may be. But another thing to keep an eye on. But I mean, you knew it was going to happen with all of the leagues so tied to the gambling sites now.
So to tack on to that, the NCAA and the geniuses that are trying to ruin college sports, they have now allowed college athletes to bet on games.
Oh, really?
Not college games, but they can bet on pro games. So here's a scenario for you, Mr. 19-year-old starting quarterback at college, whatever. You get in debt to the gamblers on Sunday, and because you're stupid, you're 19, you don't know any better. And now all of a sudden, somebody is knocking on your door. You owe us money. What are the chances that this 19-year-old is going to get himself in a bind?
Oh, yeah. It certainly could happen.
It absolutely can happen. I actually saw an interview on one of those things the other day, and they were talking about that's exactly how they get their hooks in these guys. And they'll let you off on what you owe them as long as you take care of certain situations in a game. That's how the mafia works. That's how the gambling rings work. They get their hooks in you. You get behind. You can't pay. You're going to pay. I mean, you're going to pay. You don't get to walk away. So they negotiate how they're going to pay. And maybe you do this over the next 3 games, whatever.
Yeah.
And, maybe you throw 3 interceptions or, whatever.
I hope it doesn't come to that, but yeah,
it's out there. It's reality. And that's why they don't let you do it. And now all of a sudden everybody's in bed with these gambling sites and all this. It's prop bets are a big thing that they're saying is really, really muddies the water even more.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, I got to mention one other thing. Do you remember what I'm doing? What's on my schedule for tomorrow, Thursday evening?
You're going to the banquet that I can't make.
Exactly. I will be at Live Casino, the annual Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame inductions. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not able to make it up there this year from Florida to join me as you did last year. But, it's a very cool event. And look at this year's inductees. The ones with the 1 asterisk will be there. So we're talking Clyde Simmons, the former Eagle, Gary Williams, Eddie Coyle, Mary Ellen Clark, Lynn Carter, and Paul Holmgren. So it'll be good to see Paul Holmgren and Clyde Simmons for sure. Hopefully we'll talk to them. Jeffrey Lurie will not be there, but he will give a video presentation. And some of the 1985 Villanova NCAA men's basketball champions will be there as well. And they will do a special honor for the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles too. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah. And the interesting, any of the Darby Hillsdale's going to be there, 1925 guys?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
No, I would think not.
I would think not. Yeah, that would be impossible, wouldn't it? 100 years. That was a joke.
It was. Hey, two things on that list. Mike Rozier will be there too, and I actually know Mike, and I wish I could be there to see him, talk to him. And Eddie Coyle. Eddie Coyle's an interesting guy, Delco guy, Chet. He's a handicapped, what do they call, paraplegic weightlifter way back. Another one of them Collingdale High teachers. Substitute back in the day, back when Kevin Riley and them were coming around to school. Eddie Coyle is a Bonner grad and a Delco guy. So been a long time. Hey, Chet, I have one other thing for you.
Yeah.
Is the best job in America to be a fired college football coach?
The best job in America? Absolutely. I mean, you collect a huge buyout check. You don't have to spend 16 hours a day prepping for your next opponent, who you're probably going to lose to anyway because, you're so bad you got fired. You have a lot of extra free time. Sign me up.
Yeah. And all you're supposed to have to do is look for a job.
Yeah.
Well, how are you looking for a job when everybody's playing?
Yeah, right? Everybody has a coach other than the team you get fired from and a couple others.
And you're not getting a broadcasting gig because they're already doing all that too.
Yeah.
So you're just going to sit around and make you not want to go to work as you're on the beach collecting 50 million, 40 million.
Oh, it's crazy.
And And a word down here, I don't know, how much everybody follows this. The word is that Lane Kiffin has been offered $81 million to leave to Ole Miss to go to the Florida Gators.
Wow.
$81 million to coach college football, Chet.
For how many years?
I want to say 6, 13 million a year. Is that right? Does that come out right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Something
wow.
Something like that.
That is crazy.
Yep. What else you got? Any final odds and ends before we wrap
I
up?
got nothing else. I got to go pick out some Long Johns to take to Green Bay.
There you go. Well, what you probably better do is go to bed so you can get up at 2:30, 3:30 in the morning.
Well, that's not till next week. That's the 13th and 14th. Next Thursday and Friday, I have to do that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up. Thanks tonight's special guest, Kevin Reavy. Our sponsors, the Irish Rover Station House, Cavs Philly Tailgates, PPCC, 118 Raz Rome. For Jim Chetchesko, this is Bill Furman. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll join Philly Pressbox Radio next Wednesday, November the 12th at 7 p.m. You can see us live on Facebook, on our Philly Pressbox Radio YouTube channel, and on the STT Sports Network YouTube channel, and listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the others. High hopes, Philadelphia sports fans. Go Birds. Let's go Flyers, and let's go Sixers.
Let's do the song. Come on.